camera orientation. It just wasn't doing its job. So let's see who is there. Okay, check-in is live. People should be there. Hang on. So,
Just a bit odd.
let's give it a second.
Okay.
So I can see us here. Here we go.
That's weird.
Yes, so one person is set ready. See, it says no one's there. So we were like, is anybody there?
Okay.
Okay, Candy says ready. Excellent, excellent. Jenny says better. Fantastic. Here we go. Peeps are back. Peeps are back. So we're just having a check-in today. I was just talking about how I've been laying low it's a couple of weeks now actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've not been feeling so well. There's been a couple of major planetary changes, and that's brought out a lot of stuff for people to process and move through. But that is what I was talking about. But really, just checking with people and seeing how everybody is. So I decided that since people prefer talking to my brother anyway.
No, they don't. I think it's because I'm the only one who can actually make fun of you. We like to see the human nature of our heroes.
So maybe that's the reason why. So let's see who is here. Candy's
Good
here.
morning.
Janice is here. Yessie is here. Her son likes MHA.
Nice.
Yes, yes. I didn't like the latest season. I thought it was weird.
It had one or two good episodes, but yeah, the whole it kind of felt like a filler season.
Yeah, yeah. Oasis of Healing Sense of Rose. We can actually see the script there.
Ah, there we go.
Carl Probe, who is really cool. Carl is very cool.
Okay.
Carl is like, he gets what I'm saying and he connects it with very intellectual discourse.
Was another famous pope who was also a gifted thinker. So there you go.
Might be in the name. Maybe that's why they use it.
Mm-hmm.
So he says, hello, brother B.
It'll be Brother M.
Brother M, or
Yes.
B's brother. But his name is Mahawin. Mana of Onyx says, Grand Rising. Grand Rising to you too.
Is that like good morning?
I think so.
Okay. Good morning to you too.
Carl Pope says we are both caps.
Oh,
Yes.
friends off. Friends off.
Cappy power.
No,
Cappy power.
no caps.
Don't listen. Yeah, so I just figured we would put pop on and say hello to everybody. So
Kind of see how everyone else is doing with this energy.
yeah, it's been weird. So we've been talking about stuff to talk about. We were thinking, should we just sing "Rolling in the Deep" because it seems like that kind of time. It does. It honestly does. So as I said previously, it scares my cat. She comes running. Are you okay? What's happening?
So much emotion, mommy. So much emotion.
Yes. So what shall we talk about in the gang?
Well, there's so many things that we discussed about. We talked about the covert forms of patriarchy. We talked about
Corrupted forms of light.
And there's just an ongoing study of how narcissism, or rather, they are narcissistic people. We probably don't want to expand on that project yet, but yeah, you learned a lot about mercy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And compassion. I was looking up the definitions. We've been busy. I've just been too tired to get up and talk to people, but we've been busy. So VB asks, here we go. I have seen some people just get through things and aspects of their lives to get better and better. Is it just with their stars, or would you say good karma, or I don't know what? Okay, so we can relate to this question because I don't know about other people, but we work very hard at spiritual purification.
No, we have to.
We have to. We work very, very hard at it in so many different aspects and ways of life. So many different, every single day we work at our spirituality. And sometimes it gets very frustrating, when you see people who don't do anything at all, completely blissful about what they think they know about reality. And you see people who do have some understanding and work so hard and things still feel like shit.
Oh, it feels like it's getting worse.
Oasis of Healing says every day. Yes. We feel you. We feel you. But is this good karma? See, from what I have learned, and I will not claim credit to what I have learned, because a lot I have learned because I have had good facilitators. And it's not like they have told me what to think. Sometimes they've put me on the right path of asking the right questions. From what I have seen, karma is a very floppy concept. It is floppy. I don't want to make the comparison of what I think it's like because my brother is sitting next to me.
Please don't.
I don't, yeah, but it is floppy. I should say it is flaccid. So,
Okay.
the reason why I say karma is a flaccid concept is because when you have enough spiritual mojo and you have someone who can give you an in on, shall we say, aspects of celestial hierarchies, people who should really be punished because they have done the same cycles of bullshit over and over again and who remain unaccounted for and unacknowledged tells me that that system is flawed. Basically, it's turned into a buddy system. I give you something, we create a reciprocal arrangement. That's what religion is about. It's about making sure that your devotees and your followers or adherents will receive a certain kind of privileged or special or preferential treatment that others will not. There is an absolute spiritual hierarchy at play. And that doesn't mean that hierarchy is good, and it doesn't mean that it is something that is to be lauded. That is one of the reasons why in previous videos I have begun talking about the new occult laws. And these are aspirational at best because people are still very much following that old hierarchical pattern. But the thing is, collectively, our relationship with karma will not change until we stop feeding these false hierarchies. And that's not something that relatively few people can actually, affect.
Let me hold the camera.
Yeah, I think my brother should hold the camera
Okay.
because I'm getting emotional.
Okay.
Hang on, here you hold the camera. See, my tripod broke, which is why shaky cam. So, thank you for letting us know. But yeah, effectively, until people challenge these false hierarchies that create these systems of preferential treatment, it's not about how much you know, it's not about your awareness, it's not about how diligent you are in working. If you are a single light in a sea of, I don't want to say darkness because darkness can be very sacred, but in a sea of trash, yeah, sure, you can be a single light, but that's not going to go and change things. That is not going to go and change things. So more and more people have to come to that awareness. See, you cannot tell me that this is a just world. You cannot tell me that. You cannot tell me or anyone with any empathy and compassion that people are receiving the lives that they should justly have. So, is that why children and animals are suffering? Is that why the planet is suffering? No. The way in which, because this is what I was looking at definitions of compassion and justice and mercy in different religions, because I was trying to understand what all of this is about. And again, sorry about the shaky cam, but tripod decided to commit suicide. It keeps tripods keep dying around me. They do. They're just like, no, we will not support this. We go. But anyway, so when we look at situations where we talk about things like divine justice, divine mercy, divine grace, divine compassion, I was frankly pissed off reading about it. Because one of my teachers was like saying, you should be working at the frequency of grace. So me being me, I'm like, okay, let's look at the definition of it first. So here it's like, apparently, divine justice is you get what you deserve. Divine mercy is being spared from what you should be getting. And divine grace is getting extras on top of being spared from your sentence because all of you sinned anyway. And I'm looking at this going, this is bullshit. What about people who have been working very hard, or people who have been oppressed and victimized, and people who have done a lot to shift that pattern? Where is that claim of restitution that comes for those who are justly in line to receive what they should? And this is where things get very dodgy. So, I've been looking at it from the Judeo-Christian tradition to see who are the beings in charge of restitution and so on and so forth. And their names are not said. Their names are not even mentioned.
You have to dig for it.
Yeah, I had to dig. I dig into occult stuff all of the time. I dig. So, in fact, in the Judeo-Christian tradition, the archangel who is involved in the principle of, of restitution, which is not retribution, it's not redistribution, it's restitution. It means that you actually get what you are due. That's an archangel called Rochel, Rochel, 69th angel in the Kabbalah. And, people don't know about this. So they're appealing to people who are still enforcing old aspects of this old hierarchical system. So until more people are aware of it, the system is going to be this way. And the people who seem to keep having a great life, a great time, despite not doing anything at all, it is because they have the right spiritual contacts. It's like capitalism. If you already have an in because your friend knows that guy's friend who knows that friend who knows the boss, you will have a way through. People who talk about spirituality as a liberating experience without talking about this are talking from theory. When you look at practice, when you look at people who really live it every day and are wondering, why am I so blocked? What is this thing? And it ain't astrology.
Either they're speaking from theory or they are the equivalent of the spiritual one percenters.
Exactly. Thank you. Either it's theory or it's privilege. So, it's like even within the spiritual realm, this exists. Because if we believe in the principle of as above, so below, where do you think all of these inequalities came from? They are being mirrored in other planes and spaces, including the planes that we have been conditioned to believe are some kind of untouchable celestial hierarchy. But yeah, we talk about this kind of things. But let's see who else we got. I'll hold the carrot, the thingy now. Me Angel says I just heard the story of colors, hierarchical order. Then Steve says hello, Dr. B. Brother. Hello. Yeah. Correct. But yes, so that's a very good question from PB. I don't think it's the answer he was looking for, but one has to say what one believes is true.
Well, sometimes there is also an element of astrology to it. Some people start are fantastic.
Oh, great. Now it was my fault. I had my finger on the mic.
Oh, okay.
That was me.
Oh, no, don't worry.
That was me.
Sometimes astrology is a part of it because some people have really strong placements of stars, right?
Not really.
No?
You technically have a really good chart.
Really?
From a certain perspective, you have the kind of chart where you can actually get a lot of things done.
Only by being a terrible person. I could create a cult like this.
You could.
I don't want a cult.
Exactly. So, it's not the astrology. Like my chart is terrible. I should be dead by now. Several times over.
Okay.
So, my chart is horrible. I don't even know what I'm still doing here.
You have a little Hanuki cat.
I have a little girl. Yes. So, let's see. Carl says, for me, you're always addressing what is needed now.
Has it been fixed yet? Some people are still saying
no, it's fixed.
Okay.
Carl says, for me, you're always addressing what is needed now for our individuation at this critical time in our collective and individual evolutionary process. The Anthropocene is challenging all us now. Do you see why I like Carl's language?
So now you know how to romance my sister.
Ayo! No!
But if you have a direct relationship with the Creator, do you need to ask the angels?
This is a very good question. This is a very good question. Everyone's laughing.
Good job, by the way, Carl.
So, me, Angel says, if you have a direct relationship with the Creator, do you need to ask the angels? I was taught to go directly to Source. Well, yes and no. The thing is to hold that frequency of being in that pure Source energy. It takes a lot of effort. Whether you see Source as beyond you or within you, whatever your connection with Source is, when you're in that space, it's a very liminal space. It takes a profound effort. Me Angel says that's a hypothetical question. No, it's not. It's a real question. So it's Carl says the good doctor knows that I am gay. I did not, but good to know. Me Angel says, okay, hypothetical question. It's not, because it's actually a very important question. Because some people believe that they work with angels and they're not. They're working with weird ass entities. Some people believe that they're working with sauce and they are not, because they're working with distorted variants of it, because what they see is some kind of light or some kind of energy, and that's all they know. So the thing about working with angels is that I like to think of it as methodological triangulation, which is a fancy word, a fancy way of saying you look at different methods at the same time. You look at consistency. Is your experience with this entity the same as your experience is what you're calling source the same? Is this congruent? Is this consistent? And that's why it's important to get different points of view. Because if you believe in something as source, you have only a self referential perspective. So, at a very practical level, you need to be looking at different perspectives as well. So, you can ask for help at any and all levels, but you got to make sure if what you're looking at is the real thing. And that's where a lot of people fall down, because nobody likes to be invalidated.
Can I mention something else?
Go ahead.
Another part of the problem is, and actually, no, I want to mention two things. Carl, I did not know you are gay, but it's awesome. And being gay does not stop you from having a masterful command of the language. Because I don't care what gender it is, if someone swoons at the way I am talking, I am going to feel good about myself. So you go, Carl. And secondly, this is why I think we have facilitators today, and the ones who are good are amazing because they get done in one session what might take us weeks or months. So there is certain element of ability here. But anyone can connect to source. However, it takes purity of intent, focus. I mean, there's a reason why we created a priest class. Have someone else whose job is to do nothing but chant and go to the temple every day while keeping themselves ritually pure? Great. Let me give you $10 and a coconut. Please break it for me. And it kind of works if you get a good priest.
Yeah.
You could do it yourself, but do you have the time to spend several days focusing, meditating, praying? Because anyone can connect to source, but it does involve effort. And I think we mentioned it before. It is the amount of work, like when after I have done whatever purification and stuff, because we need to day, I'm tired. I just want to go lie down at that point. It takes a certain type of energy, which is not just purely a spiritual energy, which is immediately refilled. The body also requires recuperation at that point. So, one part is making sure you're connecting to the right angels or even the right so called God, because sometimes things which call themselves gods are not. And the other part is how much effort you can put into it.
Me Angel says, I want to smash a coconut.
It's fun.
It is.
Yes.
I've never done it successfully.
Why not?
My wrists are not that great.
Just double handed and like
I don't want to be Conan the Barbarian.
no, you'd be Coconut the Barbarian.
Coconut the Barbarian. But yeah, but the smashing coconuts, it has its own function.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, not necessarily. It can be for any part of that religion. You can be asked to smash a coconut for anybody. Karl Pope says we are living at a time when we must be our own priest, priestess, diviner, connector, glorified plumber is the term I prefer. But yeah, we have to be doing it for ourselves. But the thing is, it takes real work, and that's what people don't talk about. It's like a muscle. I mean, I'm not saying that, not being in an ableist sense here, but people who work on their bodies and you think they look great and they look wonderful, they spend a lot of time working at it. They spend a lot of time working at it. They make it as part of their discipline. And the thing is, a person must have that spiritual discipline. Otherwise, what they end up praying to tends to be crap. But yeah, it's that's what we have found. A lot of people try, but they're not looking at that process of checking within themselves and checking with people who may have an idea of at least saying, okay, you look like you're going down the right road.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you make it all about you and what your understanding and what your definition is, it's like you saying, looking in the mirror and saying, I see you, you're the best, which is nice.
It's cool if you're a cat.
It's cool if you're a cat, but
For a human, especially a human doing dangerous spiritual work, and all spiritual work,
has an element of danger.
unless you are praying purely for the good of something like your child.
Yeah, even then you have to make sure you come from a place of purity, because even that emotion can get jacked.
Mm-hmm.
Carl says, yes, we cannot be unconscious about it if you're on the path to selfhood. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
It is daily discipline. Daily discipline. But,
Yeah, may I grab it now?
yeah, yeah. Swap hands. Swap hands. Here we go.
I'm getting tired. Sorry about the hand there.
Sorry, we'll try and get another tripod in. So, but I figure it's probably better to say hi rather than not.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. So what else have we've been talking about lots of stuff. Mm,
Well, we can see if anyone has any questions. Otherwise, we can talk more about mercy. Because
okay.
I think that's a fascinating subject, especially the examples.
305 Capricorn says hello. Hello, we have another Cappy in the crowd. Cappy power. Raymoni says, wonderful to see you two first thing in the morning. Hello, Ray. Truth is true love. Nice. Yes, it is not from the faint of heart. It is
Mm-hmm.
not. Oh, it is not for the faint of heart at all. Candy says, tips on building stamina. I assume they mean spiritual stamina.
Stamina.
Push yourself. Try and develop a practice where you have to increase your focus on something for, maybe like it is very hard to really focus on something. Try and have a focus on something and, increase that focus at a daily basis. That's one way you can do it. Another thing is to just try and make sure, because right now it's a bit hard because a lot of people are oversaturated. They've been unconsciously taking in a lot of spiritual crap from the collective and from people around them. So they're overburdened. So sometimes you have to rest first, which is what I'm doing, before you actually try to bring stamina back. But it's basically
Mm-hmm.
just about developing your focus and allowing your focus to lengthen and deepen on whatever you're doing. And that is something you do over time.
Mm-hmm.
It's not about jumping in for the hard stuff immediately. You will get knocked out
Mm-hmm.
for a long period of time. Like when I do a proper facilitation, it takes me 6 months to recover. So it takes a long time when you do heavy stuff. Um, let's see. Antonis says hi from Capricornian Scorpio. Hi, hi. Truth is true love says my mind be all over the place. That's nice. Buy it a ticket and tell it to go on a vacation. Me Angel says make a resolve to be dedicated. Yep, that helps. That
Mm-hmm.
helps. Show up every day, even if you're and remember, spirituality doesn't have to be you sitting in a room or meditating or chanting. You can even be in your garden or hold your baby. That is totally part of your spiritual practice. You can make art your spiritual practice. Me Angel says spiritual warfare. That happens whether or not you consider it war. The moment you step up as a light in this world, a light that is not corrupted and a light that is not false, you are already declaring, I am doing something that is not going to follow the status quo. So that is one of the reasons why people have a greater need to rest at this time. Rajat says, hi, Brother M. Brother M, this is
Hi.
now your name, Brother M.
It makes me sound like Magneto, so yeah, you know.
You can thank Carl for that,
Okay. Thank you.
Brother M. Hello, Brother M.
I'm just saying Magneto was right.
Rajat
Okay.
wants to know, Rajat, right?
Yes. Well, I don't think I've
If
seen
not,
Rajat,
I don't think.
but you've spoken about Rajat so much.
And yes, she's a small
And she's,
boy.
yes, you've also spoken about a small boy.
Yes, yes. A lot of small children know me. They're like, who is this person talking to my mommy? Well, Rajat says, Brother M.
How do I draw my spiritual and emotional boundaries? I am actually terrible at drawing emotional and spiritual boundaries. I mean, there is a reason that I am 40 years old and only now really figuring out relationships. But those are things that you model normally off the family of origin that
Yeah,
you're
I'll
born
hold this.
into.
You
Okay.
talk.
Those are stuff that you model off the family of origin that you're born into. And me and I didn't get any good modeling. So we took a long time. But the benefit is we didn't just kind of unconsciously repeat what that family did. We had to think about what we wanted our boundaries to be. And it is really hard to be both empathetic and care about people, but also be safe. And I found the best thing was I needed to, I am working my way towards loving myself, but at the moment, I am accepting myself. It is kind of like going, I have to be honest with myself. I can't just put on, look at me the way that society has taught men to look at themselves. You only matter if you're in a relationship. You only matter if you have a well paying job. You only matter if you are attractive. You have to strip all of that away and really go down to how am I helping the world and how am I helped by the world. And I am starting to tolerate and even be mildly fond of myself. And oddly enough, I don't need to draw boundaries. I start caring about enough about myself the same way you would not want to see a friend of yours or a family members of yours hurt. That applies to me. You don't have to go, this is my brother and I have to put a boundary around him, and if anyone hurts him past this point, I'm going to intervene. No, that happens emotionally because you care about them, and your brain is smart and can make some smart judgments about what's appropriate when you are talking about your family member. Similarly, when someone is taking too much from me or invading too much from me, as long as I have a good sense of who I am, my brain says, hey, this is not acceptable. I don't have to draw that boundary. But it is harder to work at that emotional level rather than just be like, these are the checklist of flag signs. I'm seeing this. There's a problem. It's a good way to start, especially when you have no boundaries. I started with a checklist. I have to avoid this, I have to avoid this, I have to avoid this. But really, that was just kind of getting myself into the groove there. It was coming to accept myself, tolerating myself, and becoming mildly fond of myself that really helped the boundaries. Okay, what did people
That's a
say?
good answer.
Nah.
In other words, feelings.
Feelings, but not. See, because we're also told to love ourselves so much that we love ourselves in this toxic Disney fashion.
No, that's just entitled narcissistic shit.
But when we go on the internet, there's so
When you
much
go
you
on the
gotta love
internet.
yourself, you gotta love yourself, you got most people don't have friends, let's be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta love yourself. You will only get what you deserve, in relationships. You'll only get the type of love that you love yourself. And I'm looking at that and going, wow, most people really don't talk about it, but there is a very toxic relationship to love. Either you're supposed to go the patriarchal, mechanical standard of, I am a machine,
Toot, toot,
I
toot.
am perfect. I do not feel, except for anger, but that's okay because my anger is normalized. Or it is, I love myself, live, laugh, pray. I am a goddess. Okay, that's cool too. Nothing bad, but it's not real. It's candy coated. And the candy is mostly made out of something plasticky like a Barbie dollhouse.
Correct.
Real love of yourself is looking at your flaws and your failures and saying, I can accept this. Not just jumping over them and wallpapering them with the motivational poster.
Like Wreck-It Ralph,
Which part of Wreck-It Ralph?
where the villains have a kind of therapy group where they realize they're bad, but
Yeah,
but they're good at what they do, and
yes.
they're actually good.
They are needed
Yeah,
for that purpose.
for that world. But it's like that. It's like that. But we have a lot. I think you struck a chord, which is good, which is why I wanted you on the program today. I was like, let's
Let's
see.
scroll up.
There we have a couple of questions. Truth is true love says 12th house Sag.
Let
Okay.
me hold it.
Yeah.
Okay.
My turn. Okay. 12th house Sag, Mercury, Venus, North Node, and Neptune all in the 12th house. Jesus Christ. Okay. How do I stop from replaying things over and over and over again? In your case, make sure you move. Moving Stop moving
I'm
forward.
sorry, but okay, I'm
Move.
sorry. When you see the camera shaking, it's because of laughing.
Well, the thing is, in older times, if an astrologer couldn't fix your problem, they would be like, you must climb and go up past this mountain and past that lake. Because what they're trying to do is they're trying to go and shift the chart. Because when you got that kind of stuff, unless you have extreme spiritual focus and a heck of a lot of blessings from your team in the 12th house, moving can actually mitigate some of the negative influences. That's why astrocartography is a thing. I mean, God knows how many people have gone and relocated and they've literally felt a shift in their lives. They've never thought about it. And then they'll write to me going, Dr. P, I actually feel at home. And I'm like, thumbs up.
Mm.
Because sometimes the only thing you can do is to realize that what contracts you have with that local space is not benefiting you. Your astrology when you are in one space is not the same with your astrology as you are in another space because you ain't the same person. So in your case, depending on what stuff you've already tried, if nothing else works, move. And at least 5 hours by plane, either east or west. It might change the chart in a different way, but you would have to check in with that first before you made a decision like that. Janice said, is this a good time to start a relationship? I feel ready for a loving relationship, but the universe keeps sending me dirtbags. I know how you feel. How do I attract the right partner?
You make me laugh. I'll start shaking the camera.
I would say wait until the full moon in Aries, around October 22, 23. Then think about it. Sometimes when you keep attracting the same cycle, it's usually because there is some entrenched karmic pattern that has been hidden and that has not been broken. And sometimes it's very hard to find depending on what that karma is. Sometimes it's very obvious, and sometimes it is literally like Sherlock will not be able to find it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not easy. So if you've done everything else, if you've looked at the most obvious things like working through your own personal stuff, sometimes it may be a spiritual issue. And me Angel says just harvested lavender and sage and made
Nice.
bundles. Nice. Brought them in the house and freshened the environment. Very good.
Lovely.
Rajat says her kid's name initial is M2. That's true.
That's true.
Sheena says good morning from Cape
And buddies.
Breton. Hi.
Hello.
Carl says, yes, breaking those generational purposes and family programming is key. Yes. Chiron is clapping when you're talking about self formness. Me Angel says, you're coming from a kind place. Yes, he is. Amber says, yes, it's hard to do that work. I'm working on my boundaries a lot this year and it made me nervous to begin a relationship. I haven't had as much of a problem with codependency this time. That's
Oh,
fantastic.
that's
That's
fantastic.
great. That's fantastic. That's really good.
Can I add something here
Sure.
about that thing about relationships? Here's another thing. Because of this fundamental lack of love that is afflicting most people, and the way society tells us that you have to be in love, otherwise, you've somehow failed. A lot of times, people jump into relationships. If there is enough of a spark, enough of a chemistry, and God knows that sometimes these things are false attractors. You jump in, you give your emotions, you've created a relationship that I guess I'm super old fashioned, but I've always been of the opinion, and I don't know if I can do this myself. It's been a long time since I dated, but sometimes dating and seeing a person over time is a more powerful, more honest thing to do. Because, yeah, some people are just straight up predatory, and they will put on a fantastic face for the first couple of dates. And I see this a lot, more so with women, but also now more and more with men. People hunt each other, sometimes at a spiritual level, sometimes just at a fulfill me, fulfill my purpose in society type of level. So when you love yourself, you also take relationships quite slowly, and you're willing to just say, okay, you know what, I don't think it's great, uh, and move on. And maybe it might be another couple of months or another year or two until you meet someone again, but it is better than being in a bad relationship.
Yep.
And unfortunately, I am the poster child for that because it's been a couple of years. But I also know that with the amount of work that me and my sister have been putting in right now, it would just be bad to bring in a predatory relationship in my life right now. So, not fun, kind of boring, but better for you as a person, as a spiritual person in this time and age.
Take your time.
Take your time.
All right, let's move to Antonis. This has appeared to me as a prominent collective issue. We think we won't love ourselves as much if we realize our shadow in its fullness. Yet this very realization that we all share in all common is, yes, pretty much. I mean, to be honest, what I have found, I can only talk for myself. I am stupidly easy in relationships, in the sense that I will forgive a lot of bullshit, because I'll be like, okay, I understand your perspective, I understand your position, I understand where you're coming from. Just be honest. Show me who you are. That's really what I want to see. Because I am ridiculously good at loving people.
Mm.
This is true. And even people who, and I've actually had success with some of the worst kind of narcissists, and I know they can't be faking it, because like, just that moment where you can actually bring them back to that state where you remember they're a human being and they remember they're a human being. But that takes an incredible amount of effort to do, and I have no interest in providing that as a service at the cost of my own life.
Mm.
But the thing is, for me, it's very easy to love people who are simply honest, with, this is where I am, this is who I am, these are my flaws. And it's much easier for me to respect someone, to love someone, to care about someone, if they do not feel the need to pedestalize themselves or use a glamour. And that's what my brother's talking about, because we've seen this. When you do more spiritual work, you will literally find people coming at you, unless you've got some really good guardians,
Mm.
unless you've got some really good help from up above. You will find a lot of people coming at you, so that they will try to distract you, they will try to push you off the path. And on the surface, they may look like exactly what you asked for. So, we've learned to spot a lot of these energies coming our respective ways. And, it's really not worth it. If something cannot be consistent, and it cannot be true, and it cannot be real and human, fuck it. I mean, you could if it's really good and bad, but if it's not, just don't even fuck it, just go. Just like move along and go hug a teddy bear, go pet a cat. You're better off. So take your time. Take your time would be,
Mhm.
absolutely what both of us recommend. Grace says, you, that's so victim blaming. Yeah, it is. You attract what you are. No, sometimes you attract shit that gets in the way. Karl Pope says, breaking programming from our social indoctrination is the way to selfhood. Yes,
Mhm.
Brother M. Grace says, it's true, Disney is really toxic. I agree. Amber Yates says, because I view myself differently and can find my boundaries, enforcing myself easily. Very good.
Mhm.
Rajat says, very interesting insight into boundaries. Self fondness, a better word than self love. Thanks. Great to hear. Let's see what we got. All right. Do, 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 do. Karl Pope says, Brother M. I'm going to start calling him Brother M in the house now. Brother M, you are talking about why life is so challenging because we are forced to be controlled by external authority.
See, I'm not going to touch that one because Pai believes in the system, whereas I am a spiritual anarchist. And also, I'm kind of too terrified to do my own podcast. So one day, if it happens, we can discuss the fnords and how society is controlled. But otherwise,
He just looks nice, okay? He looks nice. He's a lot scarier than I am.
justice.
Yeah, but you look approachable.
Depressed people can do two things. One, we can be funny, or the other one, we can be justice. I do both at the same time.
So let's see. Ethereal Synchronicity says, wow, I'm aware of astrocartography, but I'm not sure if there's any way I'd fare better. It's very hard to self diagnose. So find someone who can work with your chart, and hopefully they have the sense to guide you. Let's see. Who else do we have? Hmm? What?
Nothing of this brother apparently is popular.
Brother M.
Yeah.
See, you got a name.
Hmm.
Thank you, Carl. Janice says, yes, yes, Hunter guys. I used to jump in, but now I date, take my time, and say no. I've been single good year, 2 years. Well done, Janice. Me says, you are second to none and can manifest instantly. So true. Amber says, yes, I agree. Bad truth, no glamorizing authenticity is so important to love internally and externally. Ethereal says, sounds like the reality I'm living in. Thank you so much. Okay. Uh-huh. Sheena says, do you think they look exactly like what we asked for because we are asking? I mean, we should be clear about what we want, but is want versus need different? That
Hmm.
is a very powerful question.
Uh-huh.
Um, so, personally, I don't think we should ask because I think the moment we put an impulse out there, many things hear it. I think that if you are walking in alignment with your soul's path, you will find what is yours. That's the way I would look at it. But the problem is a lot of other interfering things can also come in and pretend to be part of that alignment. I mean, I think I mentioned this on a live a couple maybe a couple of months ago. I said I was just speaking out loud to the universe. And I said, I want this, and this, because at that time I was alone and I was feeling sad. 1 month later, a guy comes along and he's drawn to me like a puppet on strings. And I'm figuring out what the heck is going on. And each time he tries to come close to me, he goes, what's going on? What's going on? And you can see the glamour working on him. And then I put two and two together and go, oh shit, no, 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 no. I undo my request. And within a few hours, he's back to himself. And that attraction is completely gone. So since then, I have not really asked because I realized that there is a much more yes, you will manifest what you ask for, but that does not mean that that is the purest manifestation that is possible. I feel it is better to just walk your path and see what comes and take your time with it. That's the way I would say it. Truth that is true love wants to know, what is your name, brother?
Mahavin.
Mahawin, Mahawin. LS Cherry wants to know Mahawin's take on these beings you mentioned controlling society.
No.
I don't think you.
No.
I don't think no.
I mean,
I don't talk about it.
yeah.
Grace also
Here,
wants to hear more about it.
here's a
Nah, I
simple
don't.
fact.
I don't think you want to know about
As
it.
you work as, I mean, this is a simple fact in spirituality. If you can see certain things, they can see you.
Yes.
Okay, and I didn't know that this was happening, but Bai could see since a very early age.
Yep.
And that was tough on her. I'm not going to go into detail, but it was tough on her. And the more I started becoming aware, that's where I had to find I have to bless all my food so nothing disturbs it. I have to bless my cat every day so nothing disturbs my cat. And that sounds insane, but that's the reality. And to share that without also giving the disadvantages to people, that's hard. Like some teachers are able to do that, but as far as I know, most spiritual teachers don't actually teach the dangers. They say, I will teach you the good stuff, and then in the background, they will protect you from whatever is attacking.
Correct.
And that is what spiritual teaching should be, which is why when people are spiritually, when they decide getting a degree or a certificate from a shaman or something says you are a teacher, oh boy. So there is a lot that I think people need to know, but I wouldn't know how to protect people, so I've kept my mouth shut for several years. And
Yep.
yeah, maybe one day it's probably going to happen because I'm not a very wise person, but it will happen when it happens.
Which one of us would you say has a more dire view?
Of reality,
Mm, it's hard to say.
it depends. Personally, I keep waiting for Jesus. Like, hell are you doing? Where are you? I'm not
Well,
going to beat you up when you get here, bro. I believe in justice. But yeah.
well, personally, I wouldn't say. Let me put it this way: if something is meant for you to know, you will know it, and if it's not meant for you, don't push it. Because what I find a lot of people who want to know things, and whether or not they like me for it, I just go no, and they don't like it. The reason being, if you open a person to a certain frequency of knowing,
Mm-hmm.
and that person's reality changes in a way that handicaps them or that adversely impairs their ability to be in the here and the now, who is going to take responsibility? So I would say be careful of what you wish for. Because if a lot of you actually started seeing what exists in this reality, a lot of you will not be alive. So, it takes a lot of mental discipline, a lot of courage, because it is not an intellectual exercise. Once you know, you will be seen. And once you are seen, you will be focused on. How many of you are actually willing to do that? So, you have to think about it. But,
We
yeah.
got dragged in.
Hmm?
We got dragged in.
I was already there as soon as I came out. I was like, shit, what the hell is over
Mm.
there?
So
So,
yeah,
yeah,
we didn't have a choice.
no.
And but Bai is a fantastic facilitator, and she puts the safety of the people that she's working with, and that also includes things like hello neighbors or sibling check-ins. So yeah, I can be the slightly more unhinged one, but it's probably better that it is taught in a way that can guarantee people's safety. And until I can do that, I can't really talk about it, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Yep. Maybe someday, but not right now. Sheena says, Ang, I think her 3-year-old, wants to tell us guys to them go outside. They're insisting I pass the message on. Uh,
Okay.
Thank you. I
Uh,
appreciate it. It is dark outside, but I appreciate it. Tell them we say thank you.
thank you, little Ang.
Thank you, Ang. Ray Moni says, good convo. Being involved in a lot of communities who invested a lot in ceremony, ritual, and prayer, a lot of intensity happened in my life. I stopped praying and asking, it was too much.
Mm.
Exactly. It is a magical act. And the problem is, if you don't have the proper safeguards, you will open yourself to a lot of things that are wanting to play the role of service provider. So that is where, even prayer can actually act rather than as a force of protection, it can act as a force of vulnerability. So, it's one of the reasons it can. If you're praying to the wrong thing, or if you're not saying the right words.
Your cult law.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Um, so let's see. So how can we work effectively and more on the surface, down to earth domains, while making sure that we are not focused solely on the materialist Maya? How to incorporate minimal awareness? I mean, for us, it always comes back to a very simple thing: do what your heart enjoys. Be a kind and decent person. That's it. That's that. You honestly don't need more than that. What do you think?
Kindness and empathy.
Yeah.
There are two directions of consciousness, one that becomes more self aggrandizing, and the other one that says, I am a community.
Yeah.
Don't give more of yourself than you can give away.
Yeah.
But even if you can do little things for your community, animals, something that you care about, you are on your path.
Exactly. It is, and this is the thing, because the human mind, and I feel that the evolution of consciousness has been tampered with in very powerful ways. The human mind is very accumulative. The brain is designed in a way that is accumulative of information, and it never stops. So when you get into the intellectual cycle of wanting to know, wanting to learn, wanting to own, wanting to control, it never stops. As Savita writes, the more you know, the greater the confusion. That's
Hmm.
exactly it. So when
Hmm.
you actually cut the crap out and you come back to what is in the here and the now, that
Hmm.
is the safest principle for anybody.
Hmm.
You know,
Do what you can.
do what you can.
Take care of yourself. Do what you can.
That is all a person needs to do to be a decent spiritual being. That's it. If you can, protect the vulnerable, protect the innocent, protect the planets, protect the animals, protect the trees, protect the whales, protect the oceans. You want something to do, go and protect all of those things. But beyond that, when we are trying to understand, to own, to command, to become a master of, you're going in a different direction.
It's hard to find a teacher that can actually keep you pure while you're doing that,
Yeah.
especially if you're trying to learn it off the internet.
Yes.
Yes, don't do
Yes.
that.
It's very difficult. Um,
So, communal, empathic, nurture, and love giving is
Not
not.
something.
Yes, okay.
Um, there will be, there will be things that try to get in the way of that, and I like the way you're phrasing it. Another Capricornian. I think Capricorns just like big words. Anyway, so it's not to say that it doesn't attract. In some sense, those simple acts of love are much more powerful, but it is less jackable. It is less jackable. That's the thing. It is less likely to be distorted. When someone is willing to do a simple thing for you every day, just as even if it's as simple as saying hi, hello, how are you, I'm going to send you a cute emoji, I'm going to just check in on you and see how you are, that in itself is a certain type of protection. Just show up and do a little bit that you can. It is less able to be distorted, because the more we try, the more machinations of control are possible. We do need to try, yes, but it's not about trying to expand and go beyond. It's about just coming back within who you are and to trust that what you need to do next will be shown to you. And that is so difficult for people to understand because of the way spirituality, ascension, and evolution has been commercialized, marketed, and made as part of the capitalist system. You better say something. I'm getting too serious.
No,
Anyway,
that was pretty legit. I got nothing to add.
legit.
Legit and understandable.
Annie V says, good morning, good morning. Anthony says, it's always insightful and fruitful. Thank you, brother and sister. You're most welcome. Um, Raymond is laughs. So, yeah, I know. But, anyways, I think it's anything else major that we wanted to share with the peeps. Do you think Lucky Cat wants to make an appearance?
It can, but you wanted to sing rolling in the
No, I do not want to sing rolling in the deep. I just said it's the type of it's it's the type of it's the type of day. It's the type of day. Plus, we don't want Hanuki running, going, "Mommy, are you okay, mommy?"
That's why I can hold Hanuki here
Oh
and
my
make a
god.
like dun 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 dun.
Oh, okay. This is an interesting question. Amber says, in tarot, I've seen pentacles more than any other suit this year. Is there a collective theme of material and physical management attention this year, or is this more personal experience? Hell, there is. Uranus, Saturn square. Saturn, ruler of material stuff. Uranus in Taurus, material stuff. And remember, the final square is happening around my birthday in December. So yeah, no, it's collective. It is collective, 100%.
So what happens?
Shit moves.
So we shall strike against revolution?
Yes,
Okay. How does one strike against revolution?
by forming Facebook groups and online groups and saying we want a revolution.
It doesn't sound like it'll work very well. I think we should protest.
It's more about finding different ways to live, different ways to manage your resources, looking at your value systems, uh, looking at what it is that how it is you hold energy in a material, in a material form. That's what it is. So people are going to be changing the way they attach to material forms. So that's what's happening. That's why it's coming up. Because money is energy. It's not degraded. It is a very powerful expression of energy. That's why people don't like handling it. Money is energy. A building is energy. The capitalistic superstructure is energy. And it is about reclaiming our power from the symbols of the superstructure. And that's what's going to be happening towards the end of this year.
Mm-hmm.
Everything will change. So, yeah, a lot happening.
Mm-hmm.
And another pipeline is going to be completed. Jeez.
Hopefully it stopped.
Yeah. But anyway, do you want to bring the girls?
Okay, I'll see how many I can manage.
Let's see. We might have some special furry guests, fur baby guests. We have decided, or rather, though it's catching on, I have decided to call Little Lucky as the emergency Reiki cat. So we're calling her ERC. Simply because when I'm upset, I ask my brother to get Lucky Cat because she's a little baby. She's just this little furry baby, and I just like cuddling her. So we're getting ERC.
Well.
Yeah. Oh no, we're
When
getting.
she's done.
Yeah, Lucky knows the boundaries. Once she's done, you get the. Yeah. So this is not the emergency Reiki baby. This is my baby. Oh,
This is the pure light baby.
oh baby, my baby, my baby. Behold your adoring fans. This is Hanuki cat. This is my girl. See? You can see the resemblance. See? People saying you're beautiful. So yes, we shall have a few minutes of gratitude and then we shall continue with questions.
Well, we'll see how long that lasts because when both of them are close by, they do not tend to
Now
hang around.
look how Hanuki is flirting with the camera.
You,
Who you?
you.
Who you? And we have Lucky Cat. Yeah. Ray says, yay, so much love and sweetness. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah, okay, she's done. Okay,
how dare
okay.
you bring Lucky here?
How dare you? It's because I was looking at a cassette.
Fierce air.
Fierce app. So bring baby Lucky closer. This is baby Lucky.
The
She is
star of
our
Cat Korea.
star. She is our star. Meow.
Ah, you. What is
You.
this Godzilla baby?
Come, Godzilla baby.
Okay, that's as much as I can bring. You have to
Okay.
aim the camera.
I'm trying. I'm trying.
Why, baby?
Wait, why don't you?
Why don't I
Ah,
bring the...
let's look at the baby. Ha!
Ha! No, I think she does not want to be on camera
Okay,
today.
I think Lucky Cat just doesn't want to be on camera today, which is fine. Which is fine.
You
So,
gotta try and work with people's boundaries,
yep,
even when
yep,
it's frustrating.
yep. Oh, Michelle says, good morning, good
Good
morning.
morning.
San says, fierce, I love it all. So,
She did.
yes, yes. Okay, now someone asked a question. Alice Cherry said, did I miss a discussion on what changes are occurring as the year ends? I haven't made it a very explicit discussion just because it's kind of like we've already had this alignment twice this year. First in Feb, second in June, and third will be in December. Um, it's um, it's an opportunity for us to really be rethinking our relationship with power, authority, authority structures, the way we hold energy in people, the idea of soulmates, groups, technologies. We are really going to need to be shaking up the spiritual and celestial hierarchies. And that is only going to happen when we provide a better model of spiritual behavior, which is what this is about. We are also going to be seeing at a physical level financial shifting at a massive scale. We might, and that doesn't necessarily mean a breakthrough in a good way. Sometimes it means the guys who are invested in keeping the system the way it is may actually push something harder. We may also be seeing certain breakthroughs in technologies, hopefully, technological breakthroughs that help us deepen our connection with the earth rather than getting away from it. The both are equally possible. The problem with Uranus is that it is a wild card, and when it squares Saturn in Aquarius, ruled by Uranus, as another wild card. It's a double wild card. So end of the year, we're really just going to be seeing a big way in the way we hold energy in ourselves and the way we invest energy in the world around us. And that's a huge thing, and if you've got health issues, you gotta make sure you take it slow and you do not take your body for granted, especially if you've got anything to do with the Taurus related areas, the cervical collar, the throat, Hashimoto's, Uranus related stuff, circulation, neurobiology, the ankles, Saturn related stuff, the bones and joints, and so on and so forth. You've got to be very, very clear about it. So let me just get a quick looky loo. Someone wants the exact figures.
Do you want me to hold the camera?
No, that's fine. I think it's very close to my birthday. That's how I'm just remembering it. I'm not saying there's a big significance of that. It's just close by. Yeah, Saturn will be at 11 degrees Aquarius. Uranus will be at 11 degrees Taurus. We're basically looking at very close to Christmas time. LS Cherry says, thank you. I love and appreciate you guys. You're most welcome. We try to do our best. We really try. We really try. And I know my brother is a lot more approachable. But it's very different. It's very different when you have to do this for a living. There are certain things that you have to focus on and certain practices that you have to be very clear about. I mean, it's very different when you have a conversation, and it's very different when you are seen as a facilitator saying the same thing. So it's different.
And the more rules your facilitator has that are for your for your safety, it's probably a better facilitation that you're gonna have.
That's true. I used to wonder why, because I never liked people with rules, and I'd say, a lot more foolhardy when I was younger.
Yeah, beginning.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
was a lot more foolhardy. But over time, I mean, when I speak to people, even if they're not that much younger than me, and I look at them and I go, if if I had someone to tell me what I know now, and I would have spared someone a lot of pain, I would have been so grateful, even if someone just tried. But that's my take on it. But that is one of the reasons why I am so careful with these things. But in any case, I think it's good to wrap up now. We've had an hour-long discussion with the sibling
Hmm.
special. As I said, I'm still recovering, doing my best, and I send all of you lots of love and very many blessings. And you take care, rest if you have to, work if you have to, listen to your body. Don't overdo it. If you're
Hmm.
not in touch with your true heart, fuck what you are doing and go back to the basics.
Bye.
See ya. Bye.
Stay safe, everyone.
Stay safe and ciao ciao for now.